Welcome back, YouTubers, to my first video in what seems to be quite a long while. And I must say that I'm pretty keen to do this review video because it's on a game that I found myself really enjoying. State of Decay. So after Steam sales, the game State of Decay went on for sale for about $2 to $3. It was made by Undead Labs, and boy oh boy is it a hell of a game. It is pretty much the zombie apocalypse survival game that everybody who dreams of a zombie apocalypse would love to play. So if you have ever been asked, and it may seem weird, would you like a zombie apocalypse ever to happen, and your answer to that question is yes, then this is the game for you because it is an amazing game. It focuses on very quite realistic aspects of survival, such as resources, living in a base, survivors, and maintaining these things in order for your survival, essentially. So if you pretty much decide to be lazy on food or be lazy on gas, then you're not going to have enough food to survive. You're not going to have enough gas to run the electricity in your base, and it is quite an amazing thing that they have done, that they have incorporated into this game. And I'm very happy that it's finally been done, because for other zombie apocalypse quite games, I don't know, if I've never played Left 4 Dead, but from what I've heard of Left 4 Dead, it's not really that much of the greatest survival zombie game that could have been played. So yeah, State of Decay, great game. So let us get on a bit more with this review. So for the main survival aspect of this game, it's amazing, it's great, they've done it really well. Pretty much everything in this game, from your food to your ammo to your oil to building materials to cars, everything is limited. The only thing that is unlimited is zombies. There are an unlimited supply of zombies, so you can go around bashing zombies' heads in for as long as you want to, because they just keep coming at you. Obviously, there are ways to reduce zombies in certain areas, and that is via the development of outposts. Unfortunately, though, I don't have any gameplay to actually show you because I don't have a capture card, because, you know, like, it's money and stuff. But yeah, I don't have a capture card, couldn't record any gameplay, unfortunately, but the game's amazing. You just have to take my word for it. You can look up trailers, whatever. It's an awesome game. The survival aspect, as I said, they did it really well. And when it comes to things like side missions and other survivors and helping them out with their own tasks or whatever, they've also done that really well. However, after you've played the game for about 5 or 6 hours, you do seem to find a lot of repetitiveness within the game. However, you can't really avoid that in a game like this because it's a survival game. So obviously, in order to survive, you'll have to be doing things over and over again. The thing that you do have to do that is quite repetitive is go to and from your home base in order to get resources, which is quite troublesome if you don't have a lot of outposts set out to stop the hordes of zombies. So another good thing about it is, depending on the home base that you choose, you can have between 1 to approximately, I'm pretty sure the max is 8 outposts. And depending how you strategically want to place those, you can either use your outposts as restocking locations or use them as locations where hordes of zombies won't be able to invade into. So for example, if your home base is in the center of who knows where, and you decide that you want all of your outposts to be around your home base, then you're not going to have a lot of zombies around your home base. However, if you want to go miles and miles away from your home base in order to pick up resources, you won't be able to resupply because all of your outposts are around your home base. So I'm also going to be giving a little bit of tips and tricks, and also going to be stating how, or some ways in order to solve the ULL launcher crash or any crashes that people may have with this game. So first, with the nearly done with the review, so I'm just going on with the review. The survival aspect is really good. You can get about, including the main missions and side missions, you'll get a decent 50 hours out of the game. I finished the game in about 43, and I didn't really finish everything. I did the story in about 95% of all the side missions. So an average 50 hours or so, depending on how much you like to play the game. Like I said, it did have a lack of story, and that was probably only its downside. And out of 10, giving it a square out of 10, I'd give it an 8 out of 10, due to that its only downside, really, in this survival game, would have been its story. If you want to look at other downsides, you have things like the way cars handle, rendering, and all that other kind of stuff. But I'm mainly focusing on the survival aspect of this game, and it was absolutely amazing. An 8 out of 10. Get the game. It was awesome. I picked it up from Steam for like $3 when it was on sale. 100% get this game. Now, moving on to fixing the ULL launcher crash and other possible problems that you may have with the game for it crashing. So, the first thing you want to do in order to fix this problem, this is the way I found out how to fix it, and it won't fix it 100%, probably 8 times out of 10 it'll work, sometimes it won't, but just make sure you follow it step for step. So the first thing you want to do is close Steam. If you've got it on Steam or you've got it on whatever, just make sure you've closed it. Close it completely. The second thing you want to do is download CC Cleaner and run a registry fix or see if there's any problems in the registry. Scan it, click it, and then clean that. You want to do that. The next thing you want to do after, make sure 100% that Steam is closed. The next thing you want to do is open your Windows Explorer and go to the hard disk where Steam is saved. After that, you want to go to Steam Games, so Steam Games, Steam Apps, Common, State of Decay, Common, so _Common Redist, DirectX, and then June 2010. So I'll say that again. You want to go to Steam Games, Steam Apps, Common, State of Decay, _Common Redist, DirectX, June 2010. Okay, that will be in the description below, but that is where you have to go. After this, scroll down to about halfway until you find the launcher, which is DXSETUP.exe. You're going to right click on that and then go run as admin. What that does is if there are any missing DirectX files or whatever, that will just bring them back to your computer, so there are no more problems with that. After that, you want to go back to Common Redist, then click on vcredist 2010, and then vcredist x64 and x86. You install x64 first, and then x86. Make sure you right click and go run as admin and run them both. After that, you don't have to restart your computer or anything, just open Steam and then run the game, and it should hopefully work perfectly. Hopefully perfectly, and it won't crash. It might crash once, but that's all it crashed for me. I did this, crashed once, I reran it, then I was able to play it for another 12 hours solid. So that is the way that I was able to fix my State of Decay, and hopefully it works for you too. If it works, it's awesome because it was a mad game, and the crashing part aspect of it was a really big bummer. So I'll just state that again. So you have to go Steam Games, Steam Apps, Common, State of Decay, Common Redist, and the files and stuff you need is in that Common Redist folder. It will be in the description below. The next thing that you can do to, say, it's like a quick save or save progress, something like that, you can download the State of Decay Saves Manager. All you have to do, there'll be a link for it in the description below, but all you have to do is in Google, type in State of Decay Save Manager, click on the first link, there'll be a link for in the description below, and then click download. After that, it's a really easy setup. When you've opened it, you just have to direct the app. In the, you go browse, you direct the app towards your State of Decay folder is, to the saves folder, and then it goes on from there. I'm not 100% sure where the State of Decay folder is off the top of my head, but inside the app it will tell you. It's usually somewhere within that Steam apps that I just said before. So moving on from there, so the link for how I fixed it will be in the description. The instructions for how I fixed it will be in the description below, and the link for the save manager will also be in the description below. So now some tips and tricks on State of Decay, survival, ability, home bases, and all that kind of other stuff. So first off, we'll start off with characters and character development. Some people on other forums and things like that, and on Steam, Steam community, they say don't put all your eggs in one basket with characters. That is true. However, I didn't take their advice, and I did not benefit from it twice, but I did the third time. So for starters, when I was playing this game, I died. Well, I played the first time for 8 hours, then my character died. So I'm like, fuck it. Then I played again for 6 hours, and my character died again. So I'm like, fuck it. And then I played the third time, and by the third time, I think I really got the gist of the game, and I figured out how to play it. The first 2 times I died, they were really stupid. The first time I died because a feral zombie came up from behind me and ripped me in half. And I was not ready to go against the feral zombie. They are fucking fast and strong. The second time I died was because I went up to a watchtower and jumped, and it glitched, and I fell through the watchtower and died, which was a lot of BS. Now, this game save manager that I mentioned before will help you out a lot, because what it does is you can set intervals for when you want to save the game. 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, all the way up to 20 minutes in minute increments. And then you can set how many times how many max saves you want. So say for example you set it to every 5 minutes, and then you set 20 max saves. So it'll save the game once every 5 minutes up to 20 times, and then the 20th save will be rewritten, etc., etc. And it really helps out because if you die, you just go back, you click on it, you click restore, and then it goes on from 5 minutes earlier and your character won't be dead. It's a really great app. I highly recommend getting it if you're going to play this game. Now, moving on from character, or actually a little bit more in character development for what I did. The first character you play with is Marcus, and he's a badass. His stats go up really fast, so by the time you've really finished Marcus's introduction, he'll have probably halfway max strength. His shooting won't be really good because you never really get a gun. His cardio will be up a little bit. His leadership will be up a little bit. A lot of the other stats will be up a little bit, and they go up really fast with him for some reason. I don't know, he's like a quick learner or something like that. A lot of characters have their own main traits and stuff, and that affects their personal growth, which is pretty cool. With Marcus, I never changed away from Marcus. I probably went to 2 or 3 other characters, but I mainly stayed on Marcus because he was badass and I got his stats up to max, so I'm like, you know what, I don't really need to move on to any other characters because he was really good. So going from there, I played the whole playthrough with Marcus on my 3rd time and didn't die once, which was pretty badass. So either way, you can either go to have one character, just max him out and play with him, or you can go on to 2, 3, 4, 5 different characters. In the whole playthrough of the game, you could probably max out about several characters if you wanted to, but the thing is, by halfway of the game, if you've already had one max character, the game does become a lot easier. If you were to move on to another character who was less experienced, his stamina would be really low and his health would be really low. So if you came across any tough zombies, like ferals or boomers or bloaters or anything like that, they will die instantly. And it's not really good when your characters die instantly. It's actually pretty shit. So yeah, that's why I really found it easier to have Marcus just controlling the whole flow of the game. Now the best base for me was the Snyder Trucking Warehouse because it was huge. You could have a lot of upgrades, and you could have 8 outposts with it as well, which was pretty awesome, especially if you were able to strategically place those outposts. Now, with the Snyder Trucking Warehouse compared to other outposts, for example, when you have the Fairville or it's like a fair, but you have it's like a fair as a warehouse, and it's really hard to get into. The parking's really hard, and it's quite awkward, and you don't have a lot of pre-built facilities, so it kind of, I don't know how to say it, but it doesn't let you give the full potential out of this home base, which it's not the greatest. So yeah, the Snyder Trucking Warehouse for me was the best base because it was on the border of pretty much everything, and you could go to and from anywhere, and it was really easy. Now, facilities to build into that base. I'm going to have to wrap this up because it's really coming really tight for time now. So facilities to pre-build into that base with tips and tricks. So the first thing you should do is build your workshop. The second thing you should do is build a library, and then the third thing you should do is build another workshop. What you should do then is, with the library, research all the things that you need for the chemical workshop. After that, you can pretty much destroy the library and then build a storage facility. You don't really need a kitchen. The kitchen is practically useless. Build a storage facility, it's a lot better. It helps you minimize food poisoning and increase food preservation, and it also lets you convert food into fuel. Food is a very abundant resource, and fuel is a very, very limited resource. Another very limited resource is ammo, and everything else is pretty much abundant except for ammo and fuel. Fuel later on in the game becomes very abundant once you've done the biodiesel converting food into fuel. The last thing is pretty much weapons and cars. So weapons, there's pretty much a lot of the weapons are the same. There are some very, say, exotic weapons, like you have your LMG and your grenade launcher and your shotgun and things like that. And cars, you know, they're pretty much everywhere, except that sometimes they're scarce. Another good tip and trick is to pretty much use your cars as a vault. So if you have a lot of cars around your outpost, you can pretty much deposit your things into the cars and they'll never go away. So that is pretty much me wrapping up this review for State of Decay. I'll leave other things that I forgot to mention in the description below. I hope you like this. If it was able to help you, hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.